As Polonius says in Hamlet, brevity is the soul of wit, which is funny because Hamlet is a really long play. It goes on and on and on. I can't promise wit, but I will be brief. I'm just going to say a few words and then read 3 of my poems. And I think if we do like Allen Ginsberg says and put our communal shoulder to the wheel, we should be okay. We'll get through this all right. The perils of poetry. First, the benefits of poetry. Bona fide scientific studies have shown that when people read poetry, 3 very important things happen. 1, the brain activity that is generated is far higher than when people read fiction or nonfiction. So you get a real nice brain boost, a nice brain kick. Second, that boost lasts longer than when you read fiction or nonfiction. So it kicks your brain into high gear and it keeps it there for longer. And third, and I think most important, reading poetry activates areas of the brain which are associated with self-awareness and empathy. And if you can give me 2 words that better describe what it is to be human than self-awareness and empathy, I'd like to hear them. So they're going to be really good. So for an investment of 3 or 4 minutes a day, you can read a poem and get that brain activity going. But the perils of poetry. Poetry is difficult. It's difficult to read. Most people who encounter it run away from it screaming. So I want to talk about 3 perils of poetry, and I'm going to read 1 poem after each, which kind of illustrates the point, but not really. I'm taking poetic license as to exactly how related these are to the topic. The first peril of poetry, and I'm plagiarizing, is the danger of the single reading. The danger of the single reading. Most people read a poem and then think about it maybe, and then they go away. You have to give yourself more of a chance. A poem can't get all you have in you in just 1 reading. Yeah. A poem needs more than 1 reading to get everything you're capable of. So give it a couple of readings. I've been reading The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock since I was 16, 17, and I continue to visit it. That's T.S. Eliot. I continue to visit it, and every time I get a new experience. A new meaning, I'm going to talk about that later. Not a new meaning, but a new experience. This poem is called Ourselves to Ourselves. Ourselves to Ourselves. Think the visage. A black-eyed Susan shows a bee. The body heat a mouse can't keep from a rattlesnake. Ourselves to ourselves. A child blind before birth will not know a sunset's every gift. A sighted child will not know all that night can't steal. What we might grasp keeps us incomplete. What we can't miss makes us whole. That's the first poem. How many of you recognize Mark Strand in there? Anybody? Yeah, thank you. One of the ways I write poetry is I try to communicate with poems that I visited before and have influenced me. The second danger, the danger of the single world. The single world. If you went to a poem and you want it to be like your living room, metaphorically speaking, then it's going to be difficult to adapt to that new world you're going in. And I'm not going to say it. Shakespeare said in The Tempest. Oh, heck, oh brave new world that has such creatures in it. And if you walk into a poem, it could be a jungle with all kinds of colors, all kinds of noises, or it could be a surrealist painting. Nothing makes sense and everything's weird. But you have to give it a chance. You have to try to explore, see what's in there, see what's going on. This poem is called For Kurt, Where Your Mind May Find You. Kurt is Kurt Cobain, the singer for Nirvana, who committed suicide very young. And he tries to make the world a little odd, not too much. For Kurt, Where Your Mind May Find You. Beware. Upstairs in the garage lies a forest trail. You climb to leathery bucks with corkscrew tongues. You climb to coyotes with mouthfuls of needles. Beware. The city golden in the distance has molten plastic in its sewers. Skyscrapers for smokestacks. You will never be wholly in its sight. You wear your skin like the sap of shadows. Your hands are veins of burnt coal. Your feet, the tracks of a creature you pray won't find you. Bird snares on your unwashed hair. One blue, one red on the back of your skull. Doors to an undertaker by a stream on shale. A man who sold everything. Beware, for a cabin in nightshade. Until again the city rose ugly as an exit wound on the horizon. He, of course, committed suicide upstairs in his garage. One thing I love about this poem that I find pleasure in is that line, bird snares on your unwashed hair, one blue, one red. One blue, one red. That comes from Robert Johnson blues song, which the Rolling Stones covered many years later. And the line, it's such a pleasurable line to say. He's basically gone to the train station to see his lover off who's left him. And he says, when that train left the station, it had two lights behind. The blue one was these blues I sing. The red one was my mind. It's a great line. And the poems of course called for Kurt, where your mind may find. And then finally, we're there, last one. This one's a little bit longer, a little bit more complicated. And this represents the danger of the single meaning, the peril of the single meaning. To say what does a poem mean is like saying, what does Django Unchained mean? Or saying, what does Swan Lake mean? Go in there, try to see if you find something that interests you. And if you don't, keep looking. And if you do, keep looking. Just keep looking. See what's in that poem. What else is out there? It's called Summertime. Jacksonville, Florida. I tell her I've seen a hawk beak a pigeon cold on a branch by the Wells Fargo. A bald she-cat take a squirrel in Hemming Plaza. Older, I tell her, than us, hunger is patient, as the river is built narrow bend. The dogwood stone smooth as an axe handle for the lean Confederate dead. And it's all a long weeding, I tell her. She doesn't answer. Eyes blue as blue shadows, blue as the manicured grass we hunt for my gold ring. A fight over money, what else? Her purse flashlight bright, only in night so much darker. So dim it seems distant, a promise. Light waiting for itself. I tell her the beam shines like milk after hard fast. A debt forgiven if unpaid. Shut up, she says, and keep looking. And it's all a long weeding, I say. The only answer, a snap of flag on air on July fire male voice from the Plaza Jewelers angle facade. I've been drinking racer soup, it says to two men wearing bedrolls like life preservers. We're going down, one says, to the King Street shelter. And I feel above us its specter, eagle talons chill, feathers like eye teeth, horned head sneering, it will pick them clean, our bones. I see its shadow fall slant on your nose, itself slant on your small skull. So beautiful, so much blood keeping our skulls beautiful. I hate I get like this. I hate you can see it. When life tells you something, I say, believe it. I do, you say, and keep looking. Thank you very much.